Maybe now.
Good afternoon, High 10 George Realty. We have a special training today that's presented by Anna Flores on everything you need to know about Skyslope and how to upload your documents. So we're looking forward to the training. So I'm going to hand it over to Anna to get started. And I'm going to share the training slides right now. Okay.
Hi, everybody. Happy Friday. It's my favorite day, Friday. Okay, let's get started with some training on Skyslope. Remember, once you practice Skyslope, it becomes your best friend. It's the way I look at it, at least.
You were my best friend.
Okay, Skyslope training. So what I kind of did was I did printouts with special notes to go over, but I felt that this is easier than me sitting here and actually creating a transaction, and then you would have it in writing and take notes. I think it was emailed to everybody, and there is extra copies here if anybody's missing it. Okay, let's start. So when you log in to your Skyslope, the agents should see this screen here, and you're going to have an option. Do you want to create a new transaction, and you are representing the buyer? For a listing, the Skyslope is created by Jackie. So she will do all that for you. You would just submit all the disclosures signed by the seller, and she will handle all that side for you. But once you do get an offer on the listing, you need to contact your transaction coordinator, either me or Jenny, and ask us to convert the listing to a sale. And at that point, you would just see the regular tab screens, and you would just update the same information that I'm going to show you here. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, to create one, you need to click create new and select transaction. And you notice I have an arrow right here showing you where you're going to click. And I have a special note here. To create a new sale, select transaction. If you are the listing agent, contact your transaction coordinator to convert the listing into a sale so you can complete it on Skyslope. You will find your transaction under incomplete in Skyslope. Please do not create a duplicate Skyslope transaction. So again, if you've called me and said, Anna, I have a listing, can you convert it so I could now start working my sale? Then at this point, I will convert it over, and when you go into Skyslope, you're going to look under that address, and that address should be showing incomplete. And you click on that address, and you'll be able to go to the first transaction screen. So if you are doing from scratch and you are just the buyer's agent, this is the way you would do it, okay? Representing in this transaction, who are you representing? Well, if you're the buyer and it is a sale, and say it's a single family home, you are the purchaser on it. So you will select it's a purchase. If you are dual agent, you will select both purchase and listing. I've crossed out lease tenant, both lease tenant and landlord, because those two functions are not working. You could set it up and everything, but what happens is it will not let the system calculate the commission for you. So even if it's a lease, I want you to either use purchase or both purchase and listing.
Purchase and purchase and
Mm-hmm. So that screen should show you that already. Okay, so again, I'm just going to read the note. Do not select lease tenant or both lease tenant and landlord, as the commission for these options are not calculated on the commission tab. Instead, select purchase or both purchase and listing. Okay. So what stage is this transaction in? So if at this point you have a fully executed contract, and if there's any counter offers, you are under contract, okay? Normally at this point, everybody's under contract. You really wouldn't want to even start as a pre-contract. You want to make sure you have everything signed and sealed before you get into Skyslope. So if you notice I've highlighted, all you do is click over tab it over and you click under contract. Let's see, what stage is this transaction in? So it is under a pending stage. So you have two ways to bring up the address. You could type it in and you'll have all these addresses appearing. So if one matches, you could click on that and it automatically will populate. If it's maybe a new construction or something, maybe the address is still not showing under Google, then at this point you could just click enter manually and type it in and it will enter it for you. Okay, so I circled enter manually, and or I say you could, I arrowed where if you find the address. Once you do that, so let me just read the notes again. You can either enter the property address manually or select it from the drop-down menu and click on the corresponding address. If you select the address from the drop-down menu, the relative information, for example, the MLS number, will automatically populate in Skyslope plus other information, okay? Then the next screen that you are still under the transaction tab, if you notice on top, it's still, the blue line is under transaction. So property information. Who is the transaction agent? You'll find your and click your name. Which office is this for? Well, we only have Alhambra, but you still show the other offices. Make sure you pick Alhambra. And again, if I automatically populated the address where I clicked and it populated, the MLS number should already be showing in there. If not, you have to type it. Fill ID, this is in-house. Do not worry about that. Okay, so now you're ready to select a checklist for this property. I listed all the checklists that we have out there, so you'll know. I would say the most common ones is single family residence and 1 to 4 unit. Those are probably the more popular ones. Okay, so I selected residential purchase, single family condo PUD, mobile probate trust. I indicate what year it was built. It is important that you put the year that it was built, because that determines certain documents that are required or not required. The APA number, you can type it in there. You have that choice, but I don't need it. If you want to do it, remember, this is your file. You could type as much information and populate as much information as you want to. Then you're going to click continue. Okay. Selecting the correct checklist is essential to ensure that the appropriate disclosures and reports are applied to the checklist based on the property type and to avoid the duplicate work. If you choose the wrong checklist and you went and you assign all your documents and you realize you checked the wrong one after you go correct it under the transaction tab, you have to reassign all the documents again because now you have a whole new checklist. Okay, so that's what I mean by duplicate work. Okay, transaction details. Okay, what is the purchase price? Now remember, if you have counter offers, the purchase price that you're going to enter there is not the one on the RPA, but what your final purchase price. Okay. Contract acceptance date. When you open a transaction, it automatically populates the date the same day that you're doing it. So if that's incorrect, you need to edit it, put in the correct date, and save it. Okay. Expected closing date. That you could also enter it, or you have a calendar there and you could just click on the date. Escrow number, it is important if you have the escrow number at that time to go ahead and insert the escrow number. Source option. What source option is, let me see, did I do it down here? Option. Okay, so how did you get this transaction? You know, somebody tell you and so on. So at this point, it's not necessary. I just leave it blank. But if you click down, there's a drop-in menu and you pick whatever applies to it. Okay. But again, I don't need it. It's more for you if you need it. Office lead. I normally put no. But if you had an office lead and you want to document it, the options are sign. There was a sign on the property and that's how you noticed it. It was an advertisement, maybe in the newspaper, an open house, personal referral, corporation referral. Again, if you don't put it in, I'm not going to question you, but you have those options. And then you click continue. Okay. Now we're into contacts. And again, if you notice that the blue line where my arrow's at tells you where you're at. You are on page 8. Okay. Thought it was better to number them. Okay. The buyer. Okay, you have a couple of choices. If the buyer is a trust company or an entity, you need to check the box. You put in the company name for the trustee, whatever it is. If you have a certain person that's signing on behalf of the trustee or the LLC, whatever, you could also enter their names here. I always suggest you put in an email address and a phone number because it is easier to go to one place than you go to your emails, go to your phone. You know, it just makes no sense. This is your file. It's like you have a file on top of your desk, but of course, this is all paperless. So at that point, you update it. And if you do any changes, then it will ask you to save it at that time. Okay, you will click continue. The seller will be the next thing. Again, I didn't click trust. I said it was just a person, an individual. Okay. If you had another seller, a buyer, all you have to do is, you see where the plus is right here? You just say another seller, and under the buyer, you would have the same thing, okay? And continue. Note, it is crucial to enter buyers, sellers, trusts, companies, or entities correctly under contact to ensure consistency with escrow and all related paperwork. I've seen where there's only one buyer here, but I get the escrow paperwork and suddenly there's 2. And somehow the name is different. So it is very important that you try to keep everything very consistent. Okay. Listing agent. Again, if it automatically populated in for you because you found the MLS number and the address, it will also update some of the information for the listing agent. But if not, you're going to just go in there and you're going to type it. Okay.
We're still under contacts.
Yes, we are under the listing agent. Okay, buyer's agent. So this is showing you, okay, this is who you put for the buyer's agent. If you wanted to add another buyer's agent because you had a co-agent, the only way they could get into Skyslope for this transaction is by you adding them in, okay? So you make sure you add them in. Okay, again, if you notice, you have a back key. So if you said, oh God, I forgot to do something, you could always go back to whatever page you want, okay? But if you want to continue, you continue by clicking continue. Let's go to the notes. It is important to collect all other agent contact information so that the in-house transaction coordinators can assist you in obtaining the necessary documentation to complete your Skyslope file. It is your responsibility to go out there and get everything that's needed. But we are here. We are partners. You're having any difficulties, I'll be happy to go out there and try to help you obtain whatever you need that you're missing, okay? Note, if a co-agent is assisting the primary agent on a sale, make sure to add them in Skyslope to ensure that the commission is split correctly and they have access to the transaction. Also submit the agent commission sharing form. And this form is in our website, okay, to prevent any commission disputes. So if you don't give me a form, I'm going to let you know that you need this form. You don't know what form it is, I'm going to tell you it is on the website. Here's an attached copy, okay? All righty. We are still under contacts. Now we're under escrow. Escrow is the most important one. Please make sure to get all the information, especially the email address, because when I get the commission, I will send it over to Peter via DigiSign for him to sign. And if I don't have an email for that escrow company, there's going to be delays. Either I'm going to have to contact escrow, I'm going to have to contact you, do you have an, and so on, okay? Do you have a question?
No, I said, oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. I want to make sure you guys get paid. Okay, so it's very important. Who's your escrow company? Moy Escrow. First name, Alba. Last name, Moy. Email address. It is not optional, and that's why I put a cross right there. Phone number. Again, I also will go and assist you in getting the escrow documents. Normally, if I send you an update, I will also send an update to escrow saying, hey, I'm missing these documents, okay? Let's see. You don't want to click default this contact for future transactions at this point because they're not the only escrow you're going to use, okay? Again, you continue. No, be sure to enter the complete contact information, including the escrow email address, to ensure commission instructions are sent to the escrow company promptly. Okay. Now you have title and you have attorney. You could have an attorney. If you do it, you type it in. But I'm trying to explain regarding the title because I find this often. If you have an escrow company that is a title company, the information goes under escrow because they're your escrow company. What goes under title, and let me go ahead and share the note. The title section refers to the preliminary title report, not the escrow company acting as the title company. If the title is acting as the escrow company too, please enter the contact data under escrow contact fields. I always find it in the wrong place, and I will correct it for you. That's not a problem. Okay, loan officer. I don't really care who your loan officer. Once in a while, I'll get an email and your loan officer wants a certain document. So either the agent sends it or your agent asks me to send it. A lot of times, like the SBSA, maybe they didn't get a full executed RPA or the counters or things like that. So they will come to us. But this is your file. So if you do have, this is not a cash offer and you're working with a loan officer, then go ahead and put the information here. Because if I get an email and it's something simple I can help you with, I will help you. I'll CC you telling you I did it, okay? For the title and loan officer, we recommend entering all data into Skyslope since it serves as your personal file system. This way, you won't need to search through your phone or your email for information later, okay? Transaction coordinator. I put no. I am High 10 Partners Inc.'s transaction coordinator. I'm here to assist you guys too, but I am their coordinator. So I've noted, only complete this field if you or the other agent are using an outside transaction coordinator. You do not need to enter HTPI transaction coordinator as they are our in-house team. I have access to it, so you don't have to worry about it, okay? I do recommend you tell the other agent and escrow that there is a transaction coordinator so they could CC me on everything, okay?
So when we get to that page, click on no.
Yes, unless you have your own transaction coordinator, you would input the information there. Okay.
Can I ask you a question? This is Catherine. Who's the commercial coordinator?
Who's the
If
transaction?
you're High 10, who's Coldwell Banker?
No, if I'm your transaction, I'm the transaction for all your types.
Residential.
Yeah,
Oh, the way you said it, I thought it was just broken down. You would do,
yeah, yes.
okay.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, refer agent. This listing comes from a referral agent. I normally put no unless you know and you have a referral and you want to add it so you could document it, you could do it here. But I normally select no. Okay, if you're doing a referral, we still do Skyslope. You do have a type that says referral. At that point, you list all the information you have anyway. So I always think the more information, the merrier. Okay, so that's the way I look at it. Okay, now we're under, if you notice, the blue line is under commission. Okay, so at this point, it's already telling you, okay, your purchase price is here. It's asking you for the sale and the listing commission. So it's important that you know what your commission is, and that's what you should have your BRBC stating what the commission is. But remember that just because you have, say, 3% on the BRBC, if the other agent, the seller doesn't want to pay you 3%, they're going to counter offer you, telling you they're going to give you this amount. So that's the amount that you're going to put, okay? Sometimes you don't know what the other side is going to get. But if it's asking you something, just duplicate it. It doesn't matter. It's not going to you're only representing the buyer, so it's only calculating that percentage, okay?
When you say duplicate it right there, like you said, sales.
Yeah,
commission.
3 and 3, yeah,
Got it.
yeah. Okay, note, it is required that the listing and selling agent commissions be entered the applicable fields. We also recommend entering a comment in the checklist comment field under commission if you are providing a referral fee or need to highlight a special commission instructions. If a referral is being given, please complete the appropriate form and assign it to the checklist, referral fee agreement from CAR. Okay, so what I'm saying is under the checklist, you have a section that's called comments. And next to the commission, there you could type note saying, hey, I'm sharing, I have a referral for this person and I'm sharing whatever percentage, okay? We want to make sure to get all the right documentation to Lee because we don't want her to do an incorrect check and have to reissue it, okay? Deposits. I say no. You want to say yes and fill in all the information, you're fine, but I don't need it. All I need is the EMD and I will get that from escrow or from you guys, right? So, okay, so I select no, I'm telling you no. Okay, create transaction, I click create transaction. So here I am, I'm on the checklist. So you have, it is now telling you it's pending. So you open a transaction, a sale transaction. These are the tabs that you go back and forth, transaction, contacts, commission, checklist, documents, and log, okay? Anybody that touches Skyslope, it will tell me who touched it. You touched it, I touched it, Michelle touched it. We will know who touched it, okay? Who entered it, okay?
I remember when I first had that, I was always opening it on my phone and all that, just to make sure I was on top of the checklist. So
Okay,
I didn't know
great.
that you guys can tell who was on it, so.
Yes, yeah, we know.
Okay.
And we
I'm just.
do it as your protection, you know what I mean? Because we want to make sure that something didn't get, yeah, is doing it, But you have all these tabs, but again, if you're the listing agent and I converted the listing to a sale, you're gonna find it as under incomplete. And once you click the one incomplete, you're gonna come straight to the transaction tab. And you're gonna have to enter all that information, okay? There, who the contacts are, what the commission is, and then everything that you put, any document, it will be under the documents, okay? Sorry, talking too much. Okay, very important. I circled it. Email. This is the email. Anytime you open a transaction, it gets assigned an email address by Skyslope. Okay, and it's normally the address at skyslope.com. Let's see. Okay, but you notice every tab that you go into will have the same top information. Okay, no matter what tab you're in. Okay, so the checklist tab provides the required disclosures, reports, and escrow items. Be sure to review the indicators to determine if documents are required based on factors such as type of purchase, year built, or if the property is held in a trust. Only complete the items marked within an asterisk if they apply to the sale transaction. So, maybe the property was built in 1962. So guess what? You don't need to do the risk management. You only need to do the earthquake receipt, right? Maybe I'm requesting for TA, trust advisory, but this is not a trust. So you'll see that there's an asterisk by it. So unless it applies to it, then you attach it, okay? Or you don't worry about it, correct? Let's see. So for like instance, agent commission sharing. Do you see how it's not highlighted? It's not, it's probably in gray when you see it. It says if applicable. That's telling you, I'm not asking for that document. You need to determine if it's required. You know yourself, okay? If you're going to share your commission with somebody else, it's required, okay? Okay, things to remember. Based on what I see, I came up with the list. Okay, the listing coordinator is responsible for creating all listings in Skyslope for the listing agents. Remember to submit all seller's disclosures within your listing, including the NHD report, preliminary title, and the city inspection report, if it's applicable, to avoid delays during the sale. Now, remember, you're not going to be charged for the NHD report. You're not going to be charged for the preliminary report. The reason you want to have it ahead of time is because you want to find out if there's going to be any issues, any problems. Is there liens out there that need to be clear? You know, you want to make sure the NHD report, you want to find out, is it in a high fire zone? Is it in an earthquake? You know, you want to know, you want to be able to know all that. So you'll know which documents you need to prepare. Okay. Also the seller's disclosure, I know it's sometimes very hard to get them to sign everything, but I always say you get them during the honeymoon stage, because once you divorce them, they're not going to sign anything else for you. Okay. So it's simple. You go to ZipForm Plus, you pick my template. It tells you all the documents you need. You fill out the information. You either digitally sign it to them or you print them and get their signatures. Get everything as much as you can at the beginning. And, you know, I know sometimes you're trying to put in the listing. And I think at that point, you only give the listing agreement and use the MLS input form. And that's fine. But within a couple of days, make sure you give Jackie what you need. Because when it comes down that you have the offer, it'll be much simpler for you than chasing your client. Okay. I find that only a couple of documents are done. So by the time it gets to the sales side, they're scrambling, trying to get signatures from their sale when they should already had it all done. Okay. It's stressful. And I'm on you for them this week. I'm going to say, great job. Okay. Let's see. Transaction coordinator responsible for updating the MLS status to pending and active under contract for the sales. Therefore, it is important that you complete Skyslope so that the transaction coordinator can access the necessary information to update the MLS status. What I'm finding is that you guys go to Jackie and say, hey, can you change it to pending? No, Jackie can't change it to pending. Anna has to review to make sure you do have an official signed contract. And then at that time is when I change it. Now, I sometimes tell the agent, I say, you know what? You might want to wait for the EMD so if you're the listing agent, you want to wait for escrow to get your deposit. Things could happen, okay? So like that, we don't change it before time, but it's whatever you want. If you don't tell me not to change it, I change it immediately. The only thing is, if you want it from pending or you want it active under contract, you need to tell me. If not, I select pending, okay? So if you don't tell me, I don't know. If I change it and you come and say, Anna, can you change it to active contract? Of course, I'll do that for you, okay? But I find sometimes you'll get a cancellation within what happened there, you know, right? Now, if you have a signed document, it is a legal document. You have to cancel. You have to use the correct cancellation form. I won't go to the MLS and change it to active again until I have a fully executed cancellation contract, okay? And again, I'm here to protect you guys, the agents, and our broker, okay? Not picking on you. Okay. Upon receiving a courtesy notice from an auto sale or a listing expiration from the MLS, everybody as an agent on their transactions, you should be getting notifications directly from the MLS if something's about to expire or if you're getting close to the closing date, okay? And if you're not closing and you're not sure, just send me an email telling me, Anna, you know what? I got a notification. Can you extend it for another 2 weeks, another month, okay? If Jackie receives a notification saying it's about to expire, you need to let her know before it expires that you wanted to extend it. But if you're going to extend it or change anything like a listing price, extend the term, you need to do it in writing and you need to have your seller to sign it. Okay. We recently had a situation where we did the favor for the agent and we changed it. We extended it. And they were supposed to give us the backup showing that the seller agreed to it. Well, guess what? The seller never agreed to it and now wants it canceled. She goes, I never told you. I wanted it to expire. Why did you extend it without my permission? Okay. So truly, it's not that we're trying to give you a hard time. We will do exceptions, but It is to your own benefit that you get them to sign it before you access, okay? Now, if you get an expiration and it's going to expire the next day, what we will do for you is we will extend it for a couple of days for you. And then once you give me the actual, or Jackie, the appropriate document, then she will extend it to whatever day you want. Okay. If you have a listing and you're trying to put it on hold for a certain reason, it only allows you to be on hold for a certain period of time. It is up to you, also your responsibility, to contact Jackie before the hold comes off and it changes to active and say, hey, so you need to calendar your stuff. You need to stay on top of your stuff because things will happen. And once it's expired, it's expired. Okay. And you want to get credit, right? Okay, I don't know if I finished. You are responsible for notifying the listing or the transaction coordinator to extend the expiration on a COE date, which means closing date, to prevent any MLS violation or penalties or automatic expirations, okay? Again, if I have a closing date and you got a notification that you start getting notifications at 14 days saying, hey, your closing day is approaching. You're at 14 days. You're at 7 days. You're at 1 day. That's the way they do it. And if you don't notify me and it automatically closes by itself, because that's what's going to happen, the MS is going to close saying that it's closed. Guess what? If it's wrong, you get penalized. Okay. And you don't want to pay penalties, right? Okay. Okay. Let's see. Please select the correct checklist to prevent any duplicate work. And we kind of went over that. You know what happens? You pick the wrong checklist, you attach the documents, you got to do it all over again and attach the documents to the right checklist. Add the escrow officer email address under contract so that we can send the commission instructions directly to the escrow company. Dual agent. Under the transaction tab, select both purchase and listing to the type of represented field. Now, for a residential or commercial leases, okay, you need to, and there is no escrow number. So what I'm asking is that you enter the word lease, okay? Select purchase or select both purchase and listings for that type of field under the transaction type. And again, I told you why, because it doesn't calculate the commission, okay? I'm trying to get it fixed. Once I get it fixed, I will notify you guys. Now, for a lease, the way we calculate what we call a sale price, because that's the way it's labeled on Skyslope, is you take the sale price is calculated by the multiplying the monthly rent by the number of rental months. For example, 2,000 is your monthly rent. You're going to rent it out or lease it out for 12 months. That equals 24,000. So at that point, that is your sale amount that I want to see on Skyslope. Okay. Don't worry, Anna will check. I say, come to my office. No, I would just fix it and notify you so you'll know next time. Assigning disclosures to the checklist. Please assign only fully executed disclosures to prevent duplicate work for agents and transaction coordinators. I guess you guys get happy. You got the disclosures, but it hasn't been signed by either your buyer or hasn't signed by the seller. And so you don't want to add extra work to yourself. So only assign what needs to be assigned. Because, yes.
Wouldn't it be smart to just drop it into your documents and not split it just so you
Yes,
can record?
yes, you can do that because I do that. I get
Yeah.
to see sometimes and I just drop it in there. In case you can't find them, I can help you. And that's the
Yeah.
way I do it.
But don't split them.
But don't split them because it's just double work for all, for everybody. Okay. I will notate under comments. Sometimes you guys forget initials, sometimes you forget dates, some and all that. And it's not that I'm being picky, but if we're gonna get audited, they look at everything. Okay. And we don't want you guys, you don't want the company to pay for any penalties when we've been audited, right? Because they're going to share it with you. You're gonna have to pay some of it. Okay. Let's see. A listing agent is responsible for ordering signs up for new listings. Oh, I don't know why I put 2 there. That was a mistake. Please provide superior order form with instructions. So when you want to order a sign up, you need to fill out the form and you need to give it with your listing stuff to Jackie. If you're emailing it or you're giving it to her in person, she's the one that's going to handle that. Okay. The transaction coordinator is responsible for ordering the sign down at closing and changing the status to sold, close, or lease. A lot of times you send them to Jackie. Jackie forwards it to me. So now I like to remove the sign once I receive the closing at that time. But if for some reason you want to remove it before, as long as I have an email from you asking me to do that, I will do whatever you need me to do. Okay. But Jackie and I like everything in writing. Okay. A simple email will do the job. Okay. Now, any questions before we go on to the splitting of the document?
You need me to get that up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Any questions on Zoom?
Do you have this for the bleeding?
Do I what?
Do you have a
Do you have a printout for
printing
this?
out?
No, I do not. It's a little more complicated. I will try to see what I could do for you guys, okay? And remember, all these procedures are on also Skyslope, but in their videos and you follow it and this and that. I did that last time with you guys. I showed you, but I just thought this would maybe be a little easier because more tailored to us because the procedures is for everybody. So I'll try to work on also doing a split that way.
Okay, folks, I'll put Anna back on.
Okay, here we are. Okay, so we created it, okay? If we go to transactions, all the information is there, okay? That you need. Again, if you're the listing agent and I convert it, then you need to fill out all the information, okay? What's missing in each tab. Your contacts. What I find sometimes is under, so you have your sale, you have your seller, you have your purchaser, okay? And then under your title, the first thing is your title, but this is for your prelim report, not your escrow, if the escrow is a title company. And that's where I'm finding it, okay? So it should be the middle part. It says escrow company, okay? And that's where you put all your escrow stuff. Again, very important. You put the email address because I cannot send your commission unless I have that. Peter doesn't really like to sign it manually. He likes it to come through me and I signed it to him and we signed it. We will always CC your escrow and the agent. So you both get a copy. As soon as Peter signs, it automatically goes out to you guys. Okay. If there's an attorney, then at that point, okay. But again, if you had more than one seller, you have new seller, you could add the second one, it's on the bottom. If something was done wrong, you have to click edit, okay? And then save after you fix it. Same thing with purchaser. You have a new purchaser, okay? You just edit it, okay? So again, this is your file. You want to have all your information. So I suggest you put in your title company, okay? If I know it, I'll put it in. If not, no big deal. The important thing is your escrow company, which is the middle one. And again, if you have an attorney you're working with, you could add them there. Other agent, okay? Give me as much information as you can because a lot of times towards the end, sometimes they don't want to give you documents that you need signatures on or initials or whatever. And I'll go out and I'll request them. I'll tell them straight out. You're preventing for my agent to get their commission check if I don't have all the required documents, okay? The lender, if you want to put lender information, is up to you. Who your home warranty is. Now remember, with the home warranty, I've noticed that if you represent the buyer, normally you could select who you want for the home warranty. Very rare will the seller say no to you, okay? So you have to order it. So whoever you pick, if you pick Sandy, First American, you just send her an email or call her and say, can you order me one, okay? A lot of times if you email, they like you to attach the RPA, the contract, because it's easier for them. And now they're asking you to give them either an email or phone number for your buyer. And that's to be able to contact them, okay? So they can have that information. So the other agent, I asked you about all that. Okay, miscellaneous contact. If they're using a TC, this is where I tell you to put it. You want to put me as your TC, that's fine, but you don't really need to, okay? I look at all your transactions, okay? But if you are using your own TC or the other agents using the TC, you want to put them on here so we know that they're part of the transaction. And I'll include them when I'm sending things, okay? Commission. Okay, so I had mentioned to you that you would have to put the percentage here. I had an agent that had a referral and she put all the information here, but it could be missed very easily. So what I suggest is that you come to the commission under closing and put here, referral to the name, broker, 15%. Okay, so we know there's something going on. Okay, but you should be giving me a referral fee. Okay, or excuse me, referral fee form. Okay. Okay, so here are all the documents that you need, and you see all the ones that are kind of light, if applicable, okay? So that's where I tell you, you need to make your decision, okay? What I do is, I go here, and I add, and I send you an email, or your escrow, and I tell you, hey, these are what I need, I'm missing, okay? And that's how I do it. You're not allowed, it's not part of your function, I think. Okay, let's see here. So like this checklist type, it tells you right here, gives you the escrow, what type, what year, when it's closing, when you accepted it. So all that information that you put under your transaction will show on all the top of each of the tabs, okay? Okay, so you're ready now. You're ready to assign these documents, okay? Now, you could do it a couple of ways. I'm gonna do a prelim, yes, yes,
Is this the buyer still?
yes,
This is the buyer.
The buyer.
You take care of all the listings.
yes,
Okay, don't touch the list.
yes,
Okay.
yes. Okay, so I want to attach the report. I know I have it out there. And it's gonna give me choices. I'm gonna look to see if I have. Okay, here's the preliminary. I could assign it that way. Okay. And it jumps up for me to review and accept, okay? If there's a problem, I'm missing something, I will note it right here for you and I will reject. Reject is not a bad word, okay? It just means that I'm missing something, okay?
You can't accept it.
Yes, yes, yes. So please do not get offended when I click reject. Okay,
I get hurt.
you're okay, now we're gonna go to the documents tab. Okay, your document is your folder. You could put whatever you want in here. I'm only going to need the items that are on the checklist. And if there's something important, I will add the name to the document. I could do that. You can, but I could. And I would just simply go. And I said, oh, there's a special report. And I say, add new. And I add the name of the document. And then I sign it there. Okay. I always say when you're going to submit documents, make sure they're named. Okay, what are you giving me? Because if you have to go search, or we have to go search, I'm gonna have to open every single one if there's no name, okay? It's like if you scanned it, when you load it, you could change the name to whatever you want. It's much easier and more cleaner, okay? So let's see. We got, okay, we got a page 8. So I'm gonna assign that one because I think that's all it is. If it's just one single item, you could assign it. So I go into assign and I find it's a prelim. Again, you start typing the prelim. Oh, prelim. Do you see how it pops up? What is it? Is that, and sometimes I notice it goes to the wrong place. So this, you would click wherever you want it to go. Okay. I'm gonna cancel that because I'm gonna get actually another. The document that I pick. Okay. I picked assign escrow. Okay. You see how it pops up with S under the closing document? So I had escrow holder acceptance. Okay. I'm going to click here. It's going to jump up and I'm going to assign it. Okay. So it automatically is going to go into the checklist because I assigned it. Okay, I open it. And I see what was put in there. Oh, see, they acknowledged it, okay. Boom. This is where I get stuck. Oh my goodness, no. Did I sign up? No, my goodness. Let me make sure before I open another one. Yep. It locked me off.
Do you need help?
Yeah. I lost it.
Okay. Okay.
Sorry. Probably close that one.
So to search, Anna,
Yes.
to search one document. So you go assign document.
Yeah, if you know you have that individual document, you could do it two ways. You could go from the checklist and say attach, and they'll find it and you click assign.
Yeah.
Or you go into the documents, you find the document, check the box and click assign and say, yes, assign it. I'll do another one right now. Yeah, it's gone. Let's see.
Could you explain when you split, what a split means? You told me that I still don't
So
know.
a split is what you're doing is you're taking a disclosure and you're attaching it to the checklist.
Okay.
Okay, so a lot of times you'll have a bulk of documents. So I click split and I'm gonna name each document so it could go to the correct place on the checklist. So you're under documents, you have your documents. You wanna get them over to the checklist under the correct number, right?
Right.
So that's what you're doing. You're splitting. You're saying, this document is called this, is going 1 to 2. This document is going to this, and I'll do it right now. Can you put your,
Okay.
yes, password in? And that's exactly why it does that. Why does it, what do I do then? Go away.
Yo también. Yo trabajé 6 días y luego llegué el miércoles, ayer
Thank
y
you.
hoy un día libre. Hice floor plan y luego me cayó el negocio ayer o ayer y tenía.
Okay, again, we're under documents.
So we're gonna split multiple or?
Yeah, Rosa wanted to do one more and I was gonna do it for her.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm in documents and
Yeah.
this one looks like is the escrow instructions. Let me, if you just kind of put your hand over it, hover over it, it'll show you what document it is. See, it's the escrow document. Okay, so I just close it with my X. So I don't have to reopen the whole thing. So now I'm gonna go, I'm gonna check this box, okay? And I'm gonna go to assign. And what am I assigning? What was I assigning? Oh, escrow document.
Yeah.
Escrow, and it'll come up with a list for me. And I'm doing escrow instructions, okay? It's there. Okay, yeah, that's the one I want to assign, so I'm gonna assign it. Is that what you were asking me?
Ready.
Yeah, so
Splitting
you
and
have
split.
ways, but I know she wanted the assign. So now I'm gonna go into splitting. You want to see the difference and then ask me, okay?
No, that's not my question.
Oh, okay,
Okay, I want to see all the tabs.
okay.
When you're gonna do the split of when you're going to assign the documents.
So
Okay.
I signed it 2 different ways. I went to
Yeah.
the checklist and I said, okay, I want to go to the
Okay,
prelim.
Right there, right there.
Okay.
So what I was doing is, let's say I have my document that I upload,
Yes,
okay?
into documents.
Into document.
Uh-huh.
So I going to assign it. But you see that when you have this blank,
Yes. So
Yeah,
like
tons
for
of
like
box.
prelim, I'm gonna remove it, okay? And
Yeah.
if you make a mistake, it's simple. Everything's correct, okay? click the arrow, remove, okay? So now, so my here, I know that in documents, I put the preliminary title report all by itself. It's not a book, it's not with other documents, okay? So I'm gonna say attach. It's gonna find it in my documents. It's right here. Attach, find it under your documents, and assign it, okay? That's the way you could do it. Or the other way, I did the escrow instructions. I went into documents and I found the escrow. Oh, let's do the EMD, okay? I'm going to check the box there. Same thing, I'm assigning it, but I'm doing it from documents, okay? And I hit assign. What are you assigning? EMD. Wanda doesn't like it. Well, I'm going to put deposit on the wall. Look at that. Okay, there. Earnest money, okay? That's what I'm doing, okay? And I just hit, yeah, it's required. Yeah, it's required. So I'm going to assign it.
Okay.
Okay, so those are two individual ways you could do it, okay? Now we're going to do bulk. Let me go to the RPA. There he is. Okay, so again, you want to just kind of make sure you're picking the right thing. You want to hover over it. It will show you without opening it. It'll just show you what's there, okay? Okay. See, where is my offer? Okay, here's my offer, okay? Somehow I know it's an offer because it's an offer. So it gave me a little hint there, okay? Now I'm ready to split because I know there's more than one item there, okay? So I'm gonna split. And automatically it says, I'm gonna do it for you. Well, you know what? I don't want to do it. I want to review it
They
first.
do it, you know,
horrible.
I think that they do. You have to go and check.
Okay, so you say you want to review it.
Yeah.
Because what's happening, Skyslope is learning the names, it's still thinking, it still hasn't got it perfect, okay? So I go and I look here and I said, okay, is an AD. Where's my AD? Right here, AD, 2 pages, 1 to 2, that's right. Seller counter offer, 1, and I don't have to 4 because there's 2 pages. Okay, so this is what you're doing. You're splitting this, and because you're splitting it, it's being assigned to your checklist. So you guys understand what splitting means?
Speaking of-
To clear the, do you just double check everything
I- you know-
at all?
Yeah, it looks like it's recognizing a lot of the stuff. So I'm just double checking it, okay? But I'm gonna go do it manually, okay? I'm gonna say, I don't want to. Let's clear the suggestions, okay? It'll go away. And I'm gonna start from scratch. Okay. You're going here and you're going AD. And remember, you're on the sales side. So AD2 is the sales side, right? How many pages do I have? I have 1, 2. So 1 of 2. Okay. I could scroll this way. I could, whatever, it's easy on me. Okay. 1 of 2. Now, I'm going to go page 3. Okay. That's 1, 2, and 3. 3 is a counter, right? So you start putting counter, and guess what? It pops up on here, counter offers, okay? That's 3, and there's also 2 pages, so 3 of 4. And it tells you right here, okay, as I'm going, scrolling down. Now here's my RPA, okay? RPA.
So Anita, under counter offers, it doesn't matter if it's a seller or buyer counter offer, it's just this counter offer.
Yes. Okay, I think I called this a ribbon, that's why. Okay, yeah. Okay, and so I scroll down, I said, where does it end? It's still loading. Okay, well, you know, it's getting longer and longer, these purchases. Okay, so here I am on my last page, okay? I am page, it tells you, you're at page 21 up here. Okay. 21. Okay. Then we have now, remember at the bottom of each page, it tells you the initials. So, you know, I kind of know them by heart because, you know, I do it all the time. And here it is right there. So 1 page. Okay. And that was, I think, the 22. Sometimes it moves on its own. So you just have to be careful. Okay. Okay. So I was It is. So here's that, 22. Okay, the next thing I have is, again, it tells you the initials in the little box right here, and it also spells the name. I could spell out the name or just start typing. I just TRBS, and I know it by heart, so I do it. Okay, that's page 23. This should be, okay, so now you have page 24, telling you 2 pages. Okay, now you're doing your BIA. Oh, that's 1 page, BIA. Click in the box so you can populate it. And you have 26. Okay, now you're doing your BHIA. Okay, and then you're doing your WFA. You remember, all these documents are attached to your RPA or RIPA. So sometimes I wonder how I don't only get the RPA. I said, why didn't you do all? And this is telling me you're not using the template. Okay.
What do you mean when you're not using the template? What do you mean?
Wow.
When you go to zip file.
Yeah, that you're doing your own thing. You're adding the document and you're not doing all the disclosures like you should.
Yeah, they just bringing it one at a time?
Yeah, that's what they're doing. And I'm like, this came with it. You should have had it. It should have been part of it. Oh, I haven't done it, is what I hear. What do you mean you haven't done it?
Well, I know I got confused the first time I did it because
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, I'm pretty sure I already had this document done already. So then you're working on it, and I'm like, oh yeah, I already had it done already.
Yeah, and sometimes somehow you guys, you split it somewhere else and at that point you don't give it all to me. I don't know why. 31. Okay, so that's the end. It tells me I have a total of 31 pages. I've done 31 pages. Okay, now say I already had the PRBS and I didn't want to do this one because I already have it. I already did it. I could, do you see, I jumped it. As long as you're in sequence, you can miss the pages, but it has to stay in sequence. Yeah. Okay. Okay, and I'm now saying, okay, I'm ready to split and assign. Again, you have options. It's trying to split it for you. So if it's trying to split it for you, you need to click review and you review to make sure it's split correctly. If it did, then you go ahead and say, yes, go ahead and submit it. If it did it wrong, you could correct it or you could clear it and just do it manually yourself. Okay?
When you add a row, does it automatically go into the spot where it's supposed to go?
No. So what I see sometimes, the error is other. Well, those others has a name.
Oh.
So you have to name it correctly. Okay. So the first row, you say you have a document that I don't have in the checklist, and you want to name it. Oh, let me think of something. Maybe it was a special report, retroactive or whatever, and you want to call it the name here. And over here is, where do you want to put it? Well, I don't have it on the checklist, so you want to stick it to the miscellaneous. Okay, so the name of the document is labeled here. And where are you going to put it on the checklist? And if there's no name out there, you're going to put miscellaneous. Now, if it's an CR and you have a special report that goes with the CR, then attach it. Also put it to the CR. Okay? Okay, so I'm going to split and assign. Okay? Now, where do you want to go? It's split 9 out of 9 because you had names. Everything was on the checklist, okay? If you're putting something that doesn't have a name, it's going to go into the file. Okay, do you want to return back to the documents? Well, if you want to split more documents, you want to return back to the documents. If you want to go to the checklist, you'll go to the checklist. I'm going to go to the checklist, okay? And see, all that, I get it in red. You guys get a different color. I think maybe blue. Is it blue?
No, it's red.
Oh, it's red too?
I think it's red.
Oh,
No, or
okay.
yellow.
Maybe yellow,
Orange.
yellow. Yeah, yellow. So that's telling me that, so I don't get an automatically telling me, hey, somebody's put documents in there for me to know to review. Okay. There is a way, but I will be getting all day long, my emails will not be stopping. Okay. So if you've done something, I will get notified that you've opened a new cell and I will go in there and review the documents and all that. But if you've added the High 10 Partners, the addendum for the compliance fee of $295, You need to let me know, okay? Because remember, we need to get that to your escrow as soon as possible so they could get approval from your lender to collect it. And the most important thing is that when you do your RPA, you note it in the RPA that you're charging this $295 because then the lender already knows about it, okay? And they won't give the escrow a hard time. Because remember, when you don't collect the compliance fee, the money comes out of your commission in-house, okay? We will take it. We'll get the commission check and we'll remove it, okay? You want to pay it for your buyer, but why? Let them pay it. It's like any other fee. Escrow has their fees, titles have their fees, we have our fees, okay? Okay, so I will review, and once I review, I'll go in there and I'll send you an update list to let you know where you're at. If I have any special comments, I will let you know. Hey, you forgot an initial here. Hey, this needs to be dated, okay? Any questions? You guys want me to spit anything else? It's 2:04. Any questions? Any questions, Zoom?
Anna, this is Rebecca. How do they sign the forms like that?
What do you mean?
Sign them, she said.
Yeah, the buyer signs and the
You
seller sign.
have through your Zip Form Plus, you have electronic signatures, and so that's the way you should get it. You could also use the DigiSign from Skyslope, but you have to pay a yearly fee for it.
Okay.
And I remember what the fee is. It's 60 or under.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. just
But
kinda-
when I send it to Peter, that's what I do here. I send it to Peter, I click, I say DigiSign, and I send it to Peter, and I CC, I add the agent and escrow officer's name on there. So when Peter signs, automatically it goes to them. And then it comes back to my folder, and when I review this again, I attach it to the checklist.
So you just go to par.org where you get your documents, and then if you need your buyers or sellers to sign and do the digiform thing, send it to them, and then they send it back,
Yeah.
and then I uploaded it to my
Yes,
system.
yes.
And so then you're able to go to
Mhm.
here and assign. it
Now,
when you go to the doc.
Say you have all your sellers' disclosures here, because now it became a sale. You could just click, 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 and you could email it to the other agent and say, here are your disclosures. Please obtain all required signatures on your site. And that's the way you would do it. Okay? Just said, this is wonderful. You have a lot of things you can do in this.
That's how you do your highlighted, like please sign here, please sign there, and.
Yeah, so if on the listing side, you submitted all your sellers disclosure, because you're one of those agents that are great, I love. You could, the way you'll send it to the other agent, to the selling agent, is you could come to the checklist and you'll go under documents, and you, again, will check all the documents that you need for your buyer to sign, or the selling agent to sign. Click, 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 email it to them. Okay. And guess what? Under your log, that email shows a record. Okay. So they can never say, a lot of times the escrow might say, oh, I never received your compliance document. And I'll say, oh, I sent it this day, this time.
I'll go.
Have proof.
Again.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Thank you,
Okay.
Anna.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Yeah, that was really good. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna.
I will work on this.
Thank you for your
the sign-
attendance, and thank you, Anna, for the training. It was very good. And we'll see you on Monday morning meeting. And thank you all for your attendance, and have a beautiful weekend.
You too. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Anna.
You're welcome.